Hello, and welcome to the $1 Million Electrician Podcast, where we help home service pros like you supercharge your business and spark up those sales.
I'm Joseph Lucani, and together with my co-host, Clay Newmeyer, we're here to share the secrets that have helped electricians sell over $1 million from a single service van.
Now, it's time for sales. It's time for scale. It's time to become $1 million electrician. Hello. Welcome back to another episode, man. I am pumped up for this one as we dive into the 6 option secrets with the best person to dive into it with, Joseph, the Wizard of Options himself. How are you doing today, brother?
Man, talk about putting on a pedestal. But I appreciate the kind words out the gate, man. Thank you so much for the support.
You got it, man. You got it. We got some big reasons to do this episode. We've done similar ones before. Never in this light, though. We're going a bit deeper. There's a few things at stake here today. At the end, we're giving away a free value piece. So you're going to want to stick around and hear that. We're going to absolutely help you learn the best way to overcome objections by using 6 options. We'll go through that. And not to mention stand out from the dozens of competitors that are hovering around your clients currently in your market. So if I was a service electrician, whether you're in the field or at the office or prepping or doing role play, whatever you're up to right now, keep us in your ear. Let's get through this. Joe, my brother, why is this your favorite topic? Because I think you've said to me several times, I would do 3 options classes a day, every day for the rest of time.
I really would. And the thing about options is that I look at them almost like they're a puzzle. Like, granted, the autistic person likes puzzles. But hey, the reason is that I like them because I know at the end of the line, they've called you because they have a need that they want fit. And they called you because they feel like you would be a fit to meet that need. And I know that the call is up to me to lose. So when I create options, I've created 6 different keys to unlock one lock. And I don't know which one it's going to be, but I'd rather show up to a locked door with a whole belt than just want to be like, sorry, it is, walk.
Can I draw attention to something? Because you said the call is yours to lose. Can we go deeper on that? What do you mean by that? Why that expression?
So the reason why I say that is like, let's make an easy example, and then we can go even deeper with it as well.
Okay,
right?
Let's do it.
They had a storm, right? We're in hurricane season, beginning of September, and someone has a storm that comes by and it takes the power line off the side of their house.
Yeah.
Right? You show up, you have the lines in the driveway, on the yard, they have no power, and they're greeting at the door like, oh, I really got to get this taken care of. If you don't sell that call, you are an awful electrician. And the reason why I say that isn't that your skill is bad, but they call you for help. And through something that you've done, they decided that they'd rather stay with no power than give you money to do it. This was your call to lose.
Yeah.
Whereas instead, if I were able to say, I know that they need me for what I want, and I know that I'm the right fit to serve them with this capacity. I believe I'm the right fit out of my competitors, and I believe I can serve their need. It's my responsibility to create as many opportunities for them to work with me at a level that they feel is appropriate. And then they have a willing volition choice rather than me going, take it or leave it. You got no power. What are you going to do?
I love that you took responsibility. You literally used the R word there. I'm taking responsibility. This is up to me. If it is to be, it is up to me. We had someone comment on one of our ads the other day, and he said, well, I'm an electrician, not a salesperson. That's not the first time I've heard this.
Yeah, I said the same thing too.
Yeah. But options specific to this topic, this isn't something we do to someone to pressure them into buying. It's something we do for someone because we're taking responsibility for being the best in our area. And if you're truly the best choice, then don't we owe it to them to give them options on how to work with us so that we can capture as many of those people as possible and help them at the highest level?
Yeah. Like I have an example that comes to mind if you don't mind me taking a stab at it.
Do it, man.
So like, let's take another more standard example that would justify us creating options. Customer calls you because they want a ceiling fan in their living room. Every single one of us knows that they're going to be a call. It's going to be in the box. It's likely going to be a Kitchener or a Hampton Bay. They got it from the supply house and it's there, right? Your standard option could simply just be putting it up. But let's say, sake of argument, you wanted to cut in a switch line rather than have a remote. And as a result, you now need to cut from the switch up. Maybe there's no open attic or open basement, and you have to cut the wall and the ceiling. You've given them a better solution so they're not relying on the remote, but you're leaving them with a disservice if now they have to go out of their way to find a handyman, or they have to find someone who's going to spackle and paint the cuts that you made.
Mm,
So wouldn't it be a better, more turnkey solution to say, hey, I'm going to give you choices, but every choice I give you will be a finished product. And you can choose a level of involvement you want. You want to just throw the fan in and have a remote with a single switch? That's fine. We could do that. You want to have one with recessed lights around it and dedicated lines and everything painted and spackled? We could do that too. And everything in between. How would you like to proceed?
I love that. So convenience is key here too.
Mm-hmm.
Taking stuff off their plate, making it so they
Yeah.
don't have to worry more.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it kind of reminds me of the 7-Eleven principle.
I
I
love that
call it
one.
that.
Yeah.
And here's why. Joe, I want to be really specific with you. Have
Sure.
you ever been to a 7-Eleven and not seen eggs and milk in the freezer or in the fridge there?
I can't say that I specifically looked, but at
Okay.
the same time, I can say that I don't have a negative answer to that.
All right.
There was never a situation where I was looking for one and didn't have it.
Yeah, I set the question up weird too there.
It's okay.
But I've always noticed it. And
Yeah.
the reason I notice it is because I'm an observant person and I have questions about life. I'm just kind
As
of
you
an
should.
objective viewer, right? So I'm like, well, why is there eggs and milk there? I never buy them here. I notice they're about 50% more than the grocery store.
Mhm.
But it's not like they're rotting. The milk's not going bad and the eggs aren't hatching in there. That was a chicken joke for our farmer friends.
There you go.
But there's a reason why they're still stocked. Someone's buying eggs and milk for more at 7-Eleven.
Mhm.
Who are these people and why are they taking that option when they could just stop at the grocery store, make another stop and grab them for half the price?
The thing that comes to my mind is time. Because, like, as a parent, I have never learned more the value of time. So the thing is, I can imagine, let's say I'm leaving work and I know that I got to get home by dinner at 5:30 and I left at 5 o'clock. And you know what? I could go in the opposite direction of home and I could stop and I can go to the grocery store and I can buy eggs and whatever else they might need at a discount, I'm sure. Or the gas station on the way home will have the bread and milk that I need, bread, milk, and eggs that I need so that we can have our pasta and meatball dinner.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm going to do it. It's like, yeah, okay, fine. I'll pay an extra $4 for the eggs, but I'm not going to take the extra 15 minutes out of my time. So the
that's the thing.
convenience sells.
Time and energy, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we're all short on time. It, I mean, you could be the most boring person on the planet, and I would still bet that that person's got time management issues and can't get it all done.
Mm-hmm. Very likely.
Yet you can also be like all-star entrepreneur and face the exact same struggle. So if we're all
Mm-hmm.
facing that, I can see why it makes perfect sense to include options and ways to rid the homeowners of that, well, essentially inconvenience.
Can
Please.
I want to expand on that and say it's not just the current inconvenience, it's also future inconvenience.
Nice.
So, like, let's say you take that same ceiling fan, right? And they wanted to have it with the remote module built into it. That means the entire operation is going to be hinged on that remote functioning properly. And if it doesn't, for whatever reason, the dip switches fail or the receiver, something goes wrong, you know they're going to either have to take time off to meet an electrician or they're going to have to deal with something working not the way they want it to. So, us offering an electronics protection system of saying, hey, we're going to do something so that not only will you not have this problem again, but if you ever had an issue with your dishwasher or range or stove or washing machine or dryer or furnace or air conditioning or anything else that has a control board, you're not risking taking time off for that. So the problem you had right now won't happen in the future.
I love that.
Now that's worth an investment because I don't want to deal with this again. And if I pay you, I don't do it again. There you go. Where do I sign?
But again, you're not forcing anyone to make these decisions. You're
Correct.
literally drawing it up in a way that you've done your job. You've taken responsibility for this electrical system and your involvement with it, at least from what I'm understanding here from you, right? We're drawing up 6 options that include the best we could provide, all the way down to the most economical and safe that we're actually comfortable providing, so that you can sleep at night too. Because there's a tremendous liability here that's unspoken that I think a lot of electricians are kind of skating on thin ice, not doing due diligence really to protect themselves and their clients from Yeah, just that small potential that something does go wrong and you're the first call to ask what happened while you were there.
And you know that's a reality that's pretty real for a lot of people. Like, did you ever have the job that you left and you were questioning, like, did I do the right thing there? Because I know
Hmm.
sure as hell I did. Where it'd
Hmm.
be those moments where I'd be less experienced, or I hadn't run across a situation before. I made the solution, I got it fixed. But then later I'm like, was that did I do that right? Like, was there any did I miss something? Did I tighten that? But the fact is if I gave options and they chose that one, knowing that there were better options above it or that there were worse options below it, I know that I've protected myself legally, but also protected myself emotionally. Emotionally, because I can say, I went into your home because you called me there. I didn't knock on it. You called me there and I went there. You asked me to solve your problem and I gave you the ways it could be done, but this is your home and your money and you had the final say of what it was. So emotionally, I'm calm, but professionally, I'm also protected. Because if the house burns down or something big goes wrong, and they come to me and they say, well, why didn't you tell me about it? I have an option sheet that said, I did. I specifically told you about the main electrical system. I told you about the FP panel. I told you about the fact that there were splices in the walls. I even gave you a price to fix it. Six prices. I didn't give you one. I gave you six different choices, and you chose not to do something about it. So both professional and emotional boxes are crossed off.
That's huge, man. That's huge. And I know that there's a lot of gravity and a lot of debate around this. And
Mm-hmm.
one of the objections we hear to it often is like, okay, well, I get it. Sure. Maybe going forward with new customers, we could
Mm-hmm.
provide more options, but I can't possibly go back to my old relationships and change how we do business. What do you say to that, Joe?
Why not? Like the reason is that you have to find what your reason for offering options is and take that reason and apply it to all instances. So let me follow that logic here, right?
Yeah.
I'm offering options because I believe that our customers should have more choices about the level of quality, reliability, and safety they have in their home, and that they should have the ability of picking what this is going to cost and that they're going to be aligned accordingly. And then in the same breath say, yeah, but that's only for new people. All my old customers, I'm going to make one choice for them. It's going to be take it or leave it. It's going to be the old price model. It's going to be unprofitable. And I'm going to eventually drive them away with them going to someone else.
Quite a conundrum.
I know, right? It's like, why would you want it that situation? If you agreed with your reasoning of why you would have offered it, there's no reason why it doesn't apply to your previous customers. And even then, even if you did do it, the fear is that they're going to leave, right? But if your intuition is telling you that they might leave with me offering a better level of service, do you really want that person in your network as it is? Wouldn't I rather create more opportunity for people who actually truly want and need the things I'm offering rather than chasing those who are looking at me like I'm a burden or a commodity?
And even then, I mean, isn't there a true opportunity here to just reframe this? Because it is something you're doing for them. And
Yeah.
you could even open this conversation by saying, I just actually want to apologize for my behavior in the past because with recent perspective shifts and understanding of how we serve clients and how our clients actually need to be served in 2024, I feel I've done you a disservice for the last decade with not giving you more options for us to work together because I do truly believe that our company, Service Loop Electrical, is the best. And so, how unfair of me was it to only present you with one option, essentially deciding for you what's right to do
Mhm.
in your home?
Yeah,
So,
and
could you see why we'd want to offer more for you?
yeah, I really, really, really can. And where this, like, I think a bolt of lightning just hit me because I remembered a very specific situation where I wish I would have offered more options. And literally, I remember we were doing a bed and breakfast at one point, and they wanted something, and I gave them a quote to match it. But I recognized there were things that were wrong in the home. But because it was such a big property, I didn't offer the full rewire.
Mm.
Because I didn't offer the full rewire, he still took my top option at the time, which was 30 something thousand. But at the end, when he realized he had all aluminum and cloth wiring in the home, and he was like, well, why didn't you just give me a price to do the rewire? I'm like, well, that would have been like $75,000, $80,000, man. Like, he's like, well, why didn't you offer it? I'm already 30 deep. And now I realize I could have made offers. He would have taken the option. I would have been both wealthier and he would have been happier.
Yeah. And that's the reality, right?
Mhm.
You don't know. All I know is on average, and by the way, I ask this question often on
Mhm.
prospect calls where they want to know more about our programs. I literally ask this question and I have 100% success with someone finishing the answer. And it's if we offer more on average, people will.
Buy more.
That's it. It's the oldest sales trick in the book, but it's not a trick here. It's honestly
Mhm.
just the right thing to do. Guys, we can't continue to just plead with you and beg you to do this. It's your choice to make. And we honestly won't have enough time on this podcast to go through all the reasons. But that's actually why we created this great free guide, the 6 option secrets value piece. If and wherever you're listening to this, whether you're in our Facebook group or following on Instagram or you saw an ad and went to the podcast, if you're on Apple or Spotify or our pod page or Buzzsprout, wherever you're hearing this, YouTube, maybe you're seeing us, you can go ahead and leave us a message right there or reach out to us on servicebyelectricians.com. And if you send us this code word, we're going to send you something really exciting. And it's the 6 option secrets guide, 6 opt secrets. If you send that to us, we'll know exactly what you're after. And this is actually the first time ever that we've done this, but kind of exciting. Do you want to tell them about the draw and the potential to win that?
Oh, I'm really excited about that. Okay. So Clay originally started this conversation with, Joe, don't you love teaching the options classes? And it was, F yes, I do. I absolutely love doing options. And I think that they're going to be incredibly impactful to anyone who joins because it's a hard road to navigate when you've never had a guide.
Mm-hmm.
So what we're going to be doing is we're going to be compiling all those who put their hands up, and we're going to create a draw of those people. And we're actually going to be giving an access pass to come and join us in that class. So you have the ability of saying, I have questions, and we'll be able to say, we have answers. Come join and find out.
And that brings us to some of the wins of the weeks. Weeks, I say, because we started compiling wins for this value piece just to keep showing evidence that this stuff works and it'll work for you and help you get more 5-star reviews while getting more money and more profitability than ever before. So we have Nick Braun recently with a 15K platinum, and he said, I'm not even in town. Hell yeah. So that one must have been a follow-up. Just below it, All-Star, we call him, Joyce had a 8.7K silver to close out his week. I mean, these things just keep going. Ryan, just recently, hey guys, I had my best sales day ever today. 32K platinum and an 8.5K bronze. That's over 40K day for Ryan. Huge. Recently, Austin had his big 83, and you guys remember Austin from the interview we did. He reported at just over 83K month. And then in the last few days, he came back and said, sorry guys, I'm a liar. And it bumped up to about $123,000 in service, setting a personal best record, but also their company's best month ever at over $200,000 from that little humble team.
That's amazing.
It's remarkable stuff. And it all comes from just taking this little ideology, this little 6 option secret guide, and running with that and making it your everyday practice. And our experience, Joe, has been that the closer you get to an honest average of 6 options offered every time, the closer you get to this kind of 100K average van per month, this $1 million elite status. And it doesn't surprise me because, like we said before, if you offer more, they will buy more. And you're doing your diligence and you're taking responsibility for being the best. I mean, it's a win-win-win, isn't it?
Yeah, there's no way that the situation loses because you're doing it for the right reason, for the right person.
Massive, massive, massive stuff, man. Okay. Now, last week we talked about the pricing and how we should actually be up over 300 an hour. And I wanted to tie this together here in this episode while we have a bit more time, brother.
Sure.
I've heard this story a couple of times recently where someone says, well, I raised my pricing and then everything fell flat. I was in a high
Yep.
demand period, so I raised my pricing, but then when it slowed down, I was just getting washed out by everyone else at their old cheap rates, the tank top Terrys and whatever taking on my work. Why is that happening, do you think?
So the first question that I have is it would be, well, congratulations for raising the rate. Now, what have you done to increase the value you're providing to your client? If the answer is, well, I just raised my rate, Well, then, okay, well, there's your answer. You simply raised your rate for the same product you were providing. You raising your rate must go hand in hand with you providing a better level of service. So that when you say, we're actually shifting to a flat rate because we want to provide you with better reliability, customer service, and support. And that's why we're doing X, Y, and Z. People can say, like, yeah, that makes sense. But if you did the exact same thing you did last year, except this time you offered them a bigger bill, of course they're going to be pissed at you. So, what are you doing to make their experience easier, more convenient, and more enjoyable?
Bingo. Yeah, I think it's huge, man. And we keep seeing people get chosen even where there's price comparisons.
Mm-hmm.
I think you've said this best so many times. If you continue to compete on price, the only comparable will be
Price.
price.
Mm-hmm.
So just raising your price isn't quite enough. Although sometimes it actually is. There's some psychological tricks that happen there
Yeah.
where
Making
people
things
can
more
just
valuable.
perceive more sometimes, but you can't rely on that for consistent sales.
Mm-hmm.
So by implementing, if you took last week's advice and raised your rate and you're feeling any amount of struggle at all, it's time to take action this week and start to use 6 options in a way that helps you build value.
Mm-hmm.
Joe, do you want to run through a quick role play of how options can serve you in a price objection?
Go for it. Not a problem.
Okay. Joe, I see your options here. I'm really not happy with the price though. Like it seems high, man. What's going on?
Okay. I'm happy to help, and I appreciate your honesty on that. But just so I know what specifically I can help you with, which of these prices were you saying was high?
Yeah, good call. Good call. You did offer a few things. So I
Mm-hmm.
like the silver, but the silver seems higher than what I would think I would pay for a ceiling fan with a new home run and a switch on the wall. I know that's not the
Okay.
language I would
No, that's
use, but
fine. Well, totally fair. Well, thank you for letting me know about the silver. So, what about the silver was it that you liked? Because I mean, I did have cheaper options. Like, why look at the silver?
I just had a remote before. I think that was an inconvenience. If the remote's in
Mm-hmm.
the wrong place, you come into the room, you got to go to the bedside to get that old
Mm-hmm.
routine. I just feel
Correct.
like the switch really helped with that.
It most certainly would. I completely agree, which is why we offered it. So, with that being said, how would you like to proceed? Would you really rather go with something like that, where it's a more permanent fix, or we can go with more economical options, where we'll just put it back to the way it was?
Is there anything you can do on that silver price?
Well, this is what I can do. I was like, I'd love to work with you. I truly would. I was like, what we can do is we can remove some of the benefits from that, such as we can say either A, we can remove the first class pass, or you can even go lower. Why focus on a $2,000 job when right beneath it at the bronze is an $1,100 job?
Yeah,
So that being said, what would you like to do? Would you rather remove some of the features in that, or would you rather go to a lower option?
yeah, yeah. You're right. I like the presentation. I'll go with silver.
Okay. Now, once again, just so we're all on the same page, there were cheaper options. Are you sure you only want to take a look at those?
Yeah, I saw them, man. I'm really stuck on this feature. I want that experience.
Great. Then I'm
Silver.
happy to provide that for you.
And there we have it. So it could have been a bottom option, and that changes a little bit. I think we've handled that one on another episode, and we could certainly hit it again on another. We're going to run out of time on this one, though, brother. Yeah, we're getting long.
I get
Um,
excited when it's time for role
so
play.
So the biggest thing to tie this in again, guys, we promised a few things, a way to get our value piece. We promised how to overcome a price objection using options. You just saw it live there. I mean, it's unrehearsed. I mean, we just do it, right? But also this helps you stand out. That was the third promise, was to help you stand out from the dozens of competitors.
Mm-hmm.
Now there's something happening called the path of least resistance. And we all learn this in the theory of electrical, right? But it's happening to the electricians around you too. And that's why they won't offer 6 options. Even if someone's only offering good, better, best, it's often with a price book. It's often from templated options
Mm-hmm.
that include technical jargon and silly parts that you don't really need to try to promote or sell even.
Mm-hmm.
If you follow this framework using our pricing guide, simple pricing, and the 6 options framework, you will truly be unique in your marketplace, standing well out from the dozens of other competitors that are floating around your clients, your potential clients, and in your marketplace. And the best thing about this, Joe, that I would just want to say quick
Mm-hmm.
is it's easy, but you got to work hard at it. It takes practice, like anything. And because of that, humans innately have trouble going from A to B even if other people in your market are listening to this right now, all you have to do is be consistent with it, and you'll have more value than they will, undoubtedly.
I couldn't agree more. I love that, Clay.
Anything else you'd like to add today, brother?
I feel if I do, it's just going to be taken away from it. I think you ended on a great note, and I'm proud of what we're teaching today.
I know we had some momentum. It felt like we could turn this into a full class, brother, but just a podcast. And guess what, guys? Just like we said, you can grab that value piece, 6 opt secrets, anywhere you're hearing from us, on our website, on our Facebook, on our Instagram, on the $1 Million Electrician podcast sites. You send us those keywords. We're going to send you this value piece and enter your name in a draw so that you can get in an actual class with the Wizard of Options himself. Joe loves those. Can't wait. Talk to you guys again soon. See you next week.
Be well, be blessed.
And that's a wrap for today's episode of the $1 Million Electrician podcast.
We hope you're buzzing with new ideas that charged up to take your business to the next level.
So don't forget to subscribe, leave a review, and share the show with fellow electricians. Together, we'll keep the current flowing.